order the special meeting of the Terre Haute City Council, 5:30 p.m. Thursday, September 12th, 2024. The purpose of this meeting is we're going to discuss the budget.
Councilperson Azar. Councilperson Boland.
Here.
Councilperson Chalos.
Present.
Councilperson Devon.
Here.
Councilperson Dinkle.
Present.
Councilperson Hinton.
Present.
Councilperson Loudermilk.
Present.
Councilperson Nation.
Here.
Councilperson Thompson.
Here.
All are present. I'm sorry, 8 are present, 1 is absent.
All right, thank you. George Azar, Councilperson Azar, is on vacation this evening. So, at this time, we will allow public comments only on the budget. There will be no council comments, no mayor comments, and no discussion. So we have a sign-up list, and I think first on the sign-up list is Kevin Southwood. Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. And I think we can allow a little bit more than 3 minutes.
Kevin Southwood, 1638 7th Avenue. And this is ideas on the budget. Why not use, because I don't know how many homes that you've tore down in the last 15 years. And I believe I read in the paper where they cost $8,000 to $10,000 each one of them that you tear down. And I tried to pass this idea at the county council, and it bombed out like all my ideas do. But if you're going to pay out that kind of money to destroy a home, why not offer a little bit of leeway, a little bit of consideration for some poverty-stricken homeowners, and say, hey, if you put in some windows and doors in a couple other homes, we will allow you to go on a list so you can have windows and doors put in your home if they cost $4,000 for each home, you know, about 12 windows and doors, 4,000 or 5,000. If they put up $1,000 of their own money, by having to have them do the windows and doors first, they learn a valuable skill set, and then they would have another group of people would come in and help them put windows and doors in their homes. So you could save their property, because if they're paying a third less on energy costs, they're not digging up the Earth's resources, they're polluting less, and they have value back into their home, and they have a great sense of self-pride. And by saving that money, you feel more comfortable instead of watching your curtains fly off the windows and your bills escalate into the extreme stratosphere. You know you're saving a lot of money. So by doing that, you allow them to have some extra money to invest in paying their property taxes, or put a little bit of money back into their home value, and try to do that before it gets into a state where the home's deteriorated and you have to spend $10,000 to tear the thing down anyway. If you're more proactive at the get-go on poverty people that have make less than $25,000 or $30,000 a year, they could use labor and sweat and give themselves a positive, save their homes, and make a better neighborhood in their community, and understand that when a government does something that's a high value, it can be such a great example for everybody to believe that our government is helping us, rather than trying to kick us out of our home. You know, because, you know, and then you lose the value of a home. And another idea was on the Humane Society. You have all this money that you spend on Humane Society. Every 15 years, you put $1 million into it or something like that. And the homeowners, they won't spay and neuter their cats or their dogs. You know, so what you do is every kitten, every pup, you charge them $500 each one of them. If they don't want to pay it, it goes right on their property taxes. Now, that might be $3,000. If they don't have it, well, you give them the choice of free will and free choice to make a decision. If they don't want to spend the money to have a cat spayed or neuter, or a dog spayed or neuter, they're going to pay extreme amount of expense because of that, of what they want. You can't tell them what to do. I don't want to tell them what to do. But instead of paying out money for their negligence as a reward, you reward them by what you're going to give them is going to be so severe and so cruel that even the moron is going to make the right decision. So if they have a bad neighbor, or if they have neighbors and they're not that good, they let their dogs run out and crap in everybody else's yard. If they see they're having pups over there, all they have to do is call up the 211 number here for the city and say, this address has pups or puppies and kittens. Come over there and get them. If they don't want to pay the property taxes of the amount of $500 each, that's okay. What you do is, okay, now you're going to work around the neighborhoods. You're going to help clean up other people's property until you earn that money. So you don't invest anything in trying to change people's mindset. And by changing their mindsets for a positive, no matter how cruel or how harsh you might think that this idea is, what you're doing is you're really looking out for the benefits of the kittens and the dogs that might live in hell in some of these homes or in some of these yards. And they sit out there and bark and stuff because there's too many of them, got piles of cats, piles of dogs, and, so all you have to do is just, hey, free will and free choice. We're tired of dealing with you on a weekly, a monthly, a yearly basis, and it has never changed in the last 50 years. You keep rescuing, telling people to go take people's pups and cats because you don't go after the source of the problem, homeowners and their own negligence. You can't reward negatives. You have to reward positives. And this would be like, like for the cost to try to help the city save some money would be, you could offer like a doctor just gets out of a residence and stuff. He's looking for a place to come. Hey, come to Terre Haute, and we will build you a real nice home. You stay in there. You're basically taking care of all the city employees, county employees. They work on a cheaper setting than what they would get if they went right to the hospital, but they would be taking care of city employees and county employees, which are quite a bit, and they would get a nice home built for them. In 10 years, they would own that home, and they wouldn't make as much money as regular doctor, but that home would be theirs in 10 years, and I bet you a lot of doctors are still paying a home loan after 10 years. They haven't got their own home paid off. So, and I tried to talk about having it's a sidewalk where you would have circles around the city. I walk them all the time, 10, 12, 13 miles, and you could have circles around the city where right off the street, instead of having to go one of these bike paths, go out east of town, go to these parks. I'm not going to drive that far. I'm not going to waste my gas. If I want to walk, I want to walk from my home. But if you had designated paths where you'd walk on a bike path or walk past sidewalk, you would encourage people to get up and go walk. And by having a sign on that around your stop sign, you would have like underneath the stop sign, you would have this is mile 1, this is mile 2, this is mile 3, and they would just be attached right to a stop sign or a speed limit sign. And you would know if you're walking this year, you was able to walk 2 miles or 1 mile. Next year, you keep pushing yourself a little bit harder. What happens is those indicators on them, on those signs, whether it's stop sign or speed limit sign, they are triggers that helps the mind to project value into that sign because you believe what you read and if you believe what you see and for me, I push myself because I want to test myself to see what I can get rid of my negatives, and by walking the last 4 years, hell, I went from 235, I'm still 180 pounds. I took care of my knee problems, my ankle problems, my hip problems, all that. It come from walking, and walking is a godsend because it uses your legs and your butt, which is the biggest muscles you got in your body. So they can help reduce a lot of that weight on girls and boys, men and women. But they help your mental capacity to see how you're walking, see how people's yards are, see how businesses are and stuff like that. And as you're giving yourself a positive, it's helped me to have a lot of situational awareness. I'll go up to a stop sign, I'll see some people wanting to come across the turn. I'll wait on them instead of walking out to the intersection. I'll go ahead and motion them to go on. And I know that, they'll say, well, that was nice of him to wait for me instead of tying up, walking slow across the street. But you get to develop a situation awareness. You see people's shrubs, their tree branches hanging out in the yards over the sidewalks. People leave their cars. Businesses leave their car bumpers over the sidewalk. I see where they got them concrete bumpers hanging over onto the sidewalk. For 4 years, I walked past some of them. A foot or better out on the sidewalk, rock and gravel, just absolute trash. It's hard to walk on a city sidewalk. And by designating areas around the town, I'll walk about 5 or 6 of them, but by designating these areas, you could classify them as a beautification project. Also for mental health, you're gonna say, hey, you people are gonna clean up these sidewalks so people can walk them, because we need people to walk them to improve their health. And you give people the idea of what they can see, and that on those signs, how many miles that they can walk. Next year they improve themselves even more. They're helping their weight, they're helping their joints improve by quite a bit. I know it because I tested it and I proved it. And and about the Terre Haute city flag, I walk and I'll look at some people's homes. They're out there. I'll see some fantastic looking homes. Right next to them, I see some crappy looking homes. And I'll see people out there and I say, you got a nice yard. And I know that they have to put a lot of labor and sweat to get that house like that. And they always say thank you, because I recognize what they're doing as a big positive. If I'm out there, I brag on them. And, of course I like talk, but it allows them to be appreciated for the amount of effort and amount of labor that they put in. I said, put a city flag out there, go on every block in every neighborhood, and put one designated city flag with a gold trim around the outside of it. By that, that was the first house on that neighborhood. That is a great example of what a home is supposed to be. So I don't know how, like all these good examples, I don't know what a good example is. Now you know exactly what a good example is. They don't have trash on their front porch. They don't have trash on their back porch or on their yards. Their houses or their homes are well kept. You recognize that value, and you want that people to see that flag, and that designates that this is what you want to do to be a good citizen in this town. And others they can say, if I wanted to try to get me a flag, I'd have to have my home inspected. So then I would have to pay for that flag. But you could have others, maybe in a year or two, you might have 2 or 3 flags flying on the same block rather than just the first one that you put on there. Plus the flag is, again, it's a trigger. As people see that flag, they took a lot of self-pride, and because they know they had to put labor and sweat in it. So if they get that flag, they'd have to sign a pledge. I'll keep my property up as what it is now for the next 3 years, and that flag will make sure every time they see it, they make sure they pick up their trash in their yard. So their home is it's a good example after they got the flag, and for 3 years after it's a great example for people, and people can look up to it. Hopefully, other people would start to want to fly a flag themselves. You can start seeing some extra flags and just say, hey, some of these neighborhoods are doing better than the others, and see why it is. But
Thank you, Mr. Southwood. Next, we have Judy Anderson.
This is really weird. It's been a long time since I've had to sit before our council. I'm here because I was asked to be, at the first of the year, on the cemetery board. I don't know if all of you know that, but anyway, that's what I'm here for. I want to speak on behalf of the cemeteries, Highland Lawn and Woodlawn. After I sat in a few meetings, I was a little curious about how things functioned. And so I asked and received the budgets for the last 4 years, plus the one that is before you this year. I asked for job descriptions, kind of things like that I felt like I needed to know on the board. So I have also asked a lot of questions. As you all know, I'm good at that, even the dumb ones. But I have been informed on some of the issues that I was very concerned about. Our mower situation and comments made because the cemetery wasn't mowed like it was supposed to. Our mowers were 9 times out of 10 in the shop. The workers, at one time, that cemetery out there, I don't know if you're aware of it, but they had over 20 employees and 5 or 6 part-times. We now we're down to 3 personnel, mowers and whatever they do, and 1 part-time. He has 5 positions that he can hire now if he can find somebody that will work. So that's been taken care of. The mayor graciously found 3 mowers, and we're very appreciative of that. A lot of things. We're looking for some grant money. As you all know, the chapel is in very, very bad shape. And I guess what really got me kind of inspired on this whole thing is, especially Highland Lawn is supposed to be one of Terre Haute City's big attractions. That is a historic place that everybody loves. Everybody talks about Highland Lawn. And the fact that it's been neglected so badly in the last few years really kind of puts us in a dark side. So I really think and would like to see some changes made in it. The building, I'll be quite honest with you, the building that we have our meetings in, there's a path that you walk around and there's a little table there. We sit around this little table and we have our meeting. Last month was the first time since I had been in a meeting there that I needed to use the bathroom. They showed me the door. I went in the door to the bathroom and walked in this little bitty room that if you put those tables together, it's about that size. There's 1 stall in there with no door. There's a sink. And when you come out of the stall where you went to the bathroom, there sits the refrigerator. And right beside the refrigerator sits their microwave, their coffee pot, their snacks, everything. Now that's the shape that's in out there. I don't know the situation with the city about maintenance people. I mean, I don't know who's supposed to keep up the maintenance part of those buildings out there. You know, the shed, I call it, where the guys work, where the trucks are and the mowers and all that, down way back over the hill. The guys couldn't even eat in there this summer for their lunch. They went outside and sat in the heat in the picnic tables because it is so bad, so atrocious. It's just pitiful. So I really just want to say, I guess, please find something to help the cemeteries. Another thing was the fencing on Woodland Lawn. I asked about that right off because people had asked me about it, and I said, we're not in charge of those cemeteries. This is when I was with the county. And so I asked about that also. And I know the one over on Woodlawn, I don't know if both of them, but one of the situations there was done by Joink when they were putting in their things. And that happened all over the city. That's, you know. But the fact that it wasn't fixed, there's no reason for that. Now, I do know that the cemetery board, or what, not the board, the cemetery budget fixed one of them, but somebody, and I don't know who, refused to file a claim because they said the out-of-pocket for the city was so much. Well, the fact is that Joint pays every penny they damage. Every penny they damage. They run a line clear through my son's sewer system. He paid over $3,000 getting that fixed. He got a check in the mail for every penny that he had to spend for that. So I've talked to Joint, and that is true. They do that. But somebody just did not want to file the insurance on it because they'd have got their money back. Well, there's fence down now, but I think that's being taken care of on that one. We also had homeless living in the monuments at Woodlawn, knocked holes in them and were sleeping in there. You know, there's a lot of things that need done. And the cemetery, like I said, I know there's so many big things. Remember, I've been there, done that. But these things are important to every person, every little person that has someone buried in these places. And so I guess I'm just begging and asking, would you please, if you haven't been out there, go out and look, especially at Highland Lawn. That, as you go in, that great big building, beautiful with the arches and everything, it is atrocious. And that's what our two guys, the guy and the secretary, are working in every day. So I would just encourage you to go out and look for yourself. I know cemeteries is, you know, on the back pole, but we really, really need some help out there. And like I said, the mayor has got, and I'm sorry, I apologize, I don't remember her name, the lady, your grant writer. She's working on some things for us, and I know there's money out there, and hopefully she'll find some, but just, we're at your mercy, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Was that all that was on the list, Michelle, for public comments? Just close the meeting. Yeah. All right. At this time, we'll close the special meeting. Pardon me?
Well, we'll need a motion in a second.
Yeah.
Move to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion made by Councilman Nation to adjourn, seconded by Councilman Dinkle. All those in favor?
Switch it.
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? We're going to start.